Welcome to BBC Podcast. Tapping in with Tunchi again. Today, got another lovely lady. We got to pick her brain, see where she's at. Dating party for 2023. Let's get it. I'll let you introduce yourself. Turn it over. Just name, city, and age.
All right. My name's Karla. I am 24, and I am from Tri-Cities, Washington.
And currently, are you single, relationship, something, situationship? Okay.
Talking to someone, but not a relationship.
Okay. So something fresh.
Yeah.
Okay. Is this somebody from the past, or is this somebody that's was lingering around and now you're just giving them a chance?
Someone new.
Okay. Just real quick, just brief a couple things. Your previous relationship, how long have you been single?
A year.
A year?
About a year.
Okay. Would you say who ended the relationship? Was it you, him, mutual?
I took the step towards ending it, but I feel like it was both of us at the end.
Okay. Both of you guys knowing that it just wasn't going to work? Like, who was causing it not to work?
So it was just a lot of communication issues that we were having at the end.
Okay.
So I kind of took the initiative to try and save what we had, and he took it a different way. There was, I guess, some rumors lingering around, and instead of communicating them, they were just never brought up.
Oh, okay. So more like assuming, not openly communicating with each other.
Yeah.
Okay. Would you say it was more him or you on the reason why you guys broke up? Or put it this way, let me do this. What's one bad thing he did that made the relationship go sour, and what's one bad thing you did by?
So it was a long distance relationship.
Okay.
To put it at that. So I think it was just the fact that whenever one of us was busy, we never had enough time to communicate or even in a way kind of put time for each other.
Okay.
After a while of being together. So, and I know he was busy, but at the same time, like when you're not getting communication from the person that you're with, it kind of feels like you're being put on the side.
Okay.
And sometimes when you try to communicate those feelings, it gets taken the wrong way. So it was both of our.
So what would you say? What's the thing that was? So you say both bad communication? Like you didn't try, he didn't try. You guys just let it go.
Yeah. Yeah.
Okay. Can you give me two things that you would notice in a man when somebody's trying to approach you, wanting to date you, get to know you? Give me two traits that you know, like, now this guy's not potential, but he's nice, though I can keep him in the friend zone. What are two things that a guy would do?
Keep him in the friend zone?
Yeah, you would he's cool as a friend, but I wouldn't date him. What are two signs that you're like, he's not for me, but he's cool to maybe have lunch with, chat with here and there or something like that, but I couldn't date him?
The way that it gets approached. So if they come off too strong at the beginning, it kind of makes you back up a little and be like, okay, well, hold up.
Okay.
So that, and then if you try and give them a chance, but there's lack interest or lack of planning stuff or lack
Okay.
of communication, that kind of just, you know.
Okay. I can see that. So if he's not pretty much clear with his message, he's not approaching you with direct intention.
Yeah.
Okay. And how do you feel personally about the whole? I don't know how they usually lay it out, but it's going to be like a 3-date, 90-day type of like sleep with a guy type of rule. How do you feel about that? Is that something that you
The what?
the whole like I won't sleep with a guy until the third date, like not the first or second date, always the third date or after, or I make the guy wait 30 to 90 days type of thing. Like how do you feel about that?
I think that depends on the guy and that depends on the situation. If you have an instant attraction to the person and you're still talking, like, even if you guys are not going on dates, but you guys are constantly communicating, constantly having conversations, or there's feelings there, it doesn't matter how long you wait, as long as, I guess, there's mutual attraction there.
Okay. So
I would say, but it depends.
So you're not the type to make a guy wait like a few dates. Does it depend? Like
it depends on the guy. Depends on the guy, it depends on the situation.
So would you say some girls there's that certain type of guy that there is no timeline, and if she wants to be with him, she's just gonna be with him, and then there's our other type of guys to where I'm not sure I'm gonna make this guy wait. And maybe he won't even get it at all.
Yeah.
Okay. So give me one trait of a guy that's that he's not going to, like, I'm not going to sleep with this guy.
The one that keeps playing on, or like makes plans and then cancels last minute, or says he's gonna plan something and never does. Okay. You know, the kind of guys, I would say it depends on the vibe that you get from the person. If you know it's not gonna lead somewhere, girls are just not gonna put out that same energy.
Would you say most girls would still like extract value from the guy and just still go out on dates knowing that they're not gonna sleep with him?
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
So for the guy viewers, what could you tell them? What could they look out for knowing like that a girl's not gonna sleep with them? By how many dates is like too many? Like, hey, if she doesn't sleep with you by this many dates, then it's not gonna happen.
There's no timeline for that though. It really depends on the girl.
You think a girl go with a guy like 10 dates before she sleeps with him and actually sleep with him?
It depends on the girl. Okay. Every girl is gonna be different. Some people just prefer not to do that until later on. Some people are more, they want to experiment before they start dating the person, so they sleep with the person and then,
Okay. So your advice for women, would you say it's more high likely that you can keep the guy and get him to commit to you in a relationship if you sleep with him before you guys commit, or you wait until after he commits to sleep with him?
It depends.
In your personal experience, like, have you ever slept with a guy thinking that he was going to commit to you and he didn't?
Well, see, it also depends on that, because you can sleep with a guy and just sleep with him just to sleep with him, like without thinking there's going to be a relationship, or you're attracted to him and you are wanting to start a relationship and you're still going to sleep with him because there's attraction, there's feelings involved. It's something that reciprocates. So it just depends.
Okay. So what do you say in your mind? What comes to your mind? Like, this guy's doing too much, this guy's a simp, or this guy knows what he wants? If a guy takes you out on a first date and makes it like over the top extravagant, best restaurant in town, $50 plates, make sure the tab ends up being about $250, $300. Is that too much for a first date? Would you recommend for guys, or would you say that that's okay? You can do that.
I feel like it's too much.
Okay.
You want to impress the girl, but you don't want to scare her away either. Some girls like the extra stuff, buying them and surprising them with a bunch of gifts and all this. But there's the other girls that are they're gonna feel weird about all of that.
Yeah.
Like me, when I go out sometimes, like the first time I started seeing the guy that I was with before, when we would go out and he would pay for everything, I would always feel weird and tell him, we can do 50-50 just because I grew up with the mentality that I would, since I'm the oldest, I would pay for stuff.
Okay.
So having someone there to take care of you in that sense kind of throws you off a little. So it takes a little while to get to that point where you're like, okay, you can pay.
Okay.
So
did you feel like because he paid for everything, maybe like you kind of feel like you owe him something now because he was paying for everything?
No, not necessarily, but it's just more like.
What made you feel uncomfortable?
The fact that it was always him paying.
Okay, I mean, you think
to
traditionally
me, it's more like
50-50,
I know, but when I grew up being the oldest of all my family, so I would always pay for my stuff. Even if I would go out like with cousins, I would always pay for.
So you're just used to like being the caregiver and you take care of everybody. So it was a little different for somebody to take care of you.
Yeah.
Okay, I can see that. The guy you're talking to now was it reference, mutual friend? You guys meet online, in person, or?
I have a mutual friend that I didn't know we were mutuals. He actually started sliding on my stories and commenting on my stuff on Instagram. And we just started a conversation through there.
Okay. So being this is 2023, you recommend for guys to approach women online is the best way to go, or in person is the best way to go?
I would say now, because everybody tries to go online, it's more impressive to approach someone in person.
Okay.
But it never hurts to try online.
But okay, so that's my next question. Give me one thing not to do online if you're trying to approach a woman online. That way the guys know. What's one thing do not do? The girl's not going to reply to you. She's not going to give you time of day. Don't do this.
Don't sexualize them.
Okay, so don't give them beauty comments, or don't say nice body, nice ass, like. Okay.
Yeah.
All right.
And you can compliment without pointing out certain features in a girl,
Okay.
So.
And would you say nowadays since everything's so online, would it be weird for a guy to approach a woman in person? Like, would the woman feel weird? Like, people not used to talking to people in person, so would that be weird?
A little, but you know what? You get more notice that way than you do online.
Okay. Good point. And lastly, what is a place to not do for a first date? Like, do not do this, whether it's too cheap, it's the wrong place, not the right vibe. Like, what would you recommend for a guy not to do on a first date?
I don't know. I don't know, because every girl is different.
Okay, so
I can tell you, don't take them to like get fast food, but some girls prefer doing something more low key the first time than going out to a fancy restaurant or, you know.
Okay.
So,
And give me 3 things that are nice for a woman to see. Say the guy who's messaging you and he got your attention. You go to check out his page. You want to see what he's about. What are 3 things that you personally that you find like, okay, like this is intriguing. That's attractive. I'll give him time of day. Like, how can a guy build up his Instagram profile to? How should it be?
If you're looking at their Instagram profile, yeah. I would say you can see that they're outgoing in a way. Like they like to go and hike, or they like to be outdoorsy. They like to
going
it's
to
always
events
something
and stuff
different,
like that.
You know? Yeah.
Okay.
Not always the same stuff, you know. That there's other posts that aren't just themselves, so it doesn't seem like they're too egocentric.
Okay. So how could they do that? Like showing their niece or nephew? What about guys? How do you feel about guys posting their stuff?
Yeah.
What about guys posting their stuff, their cars and stuff like that?
If that's something that they're passionate about,
okay,
by all means, put it out there. You know, it's better to show your personality and what you like up front than, you know, finding out later.
Okay. And what's one more thing? What about food?
It's good if you show like being with them, huh?
So what about like food pics or stuff like that? Is that something that girls should just do? Guys shouldn't do that, or?
I mean, everybody appreciates food, you know. So I mean, if you like to take pictures before you eat, by all means, go ahead and do it. But it's a little bit more weird when it's guys that do it than girls.
Okay.
Yeah.
Just trying to give guys a list of stuff what not to do and what to do. Okay. And one more trait. How can a guy know that the girl is girlfriend material or if she's for the streets? One thing.
Depending on how she acts with. It's all about body language and the way they compose themselves. Some girls are more out there than others. They tend to show a little bit more or go out a lot more than other girls. Okay. You know, sometimes the party girls are the ones that are more
active,
more fun. Yeah.
Okay.
Then the girls that tend to just go out once in a while or go and hang out with friends. They prefer being with family. They prefer going and, I don't know, watching a movie or just staying home and cooking a meal or going to church, going to plan activities instead of just going out all the time, all the weekends.
Okay. So I can see that. And what does it mean when, say, guy texts a girl at 10 a.m. and she doesn't respond until 6 p.m. and just says, "Oh, I just barely saw your text. Sorry." What does that really mean?
Sometimes a girl really is busy, though.
8 hours?
Sometimes.
Stop the cap.
No. Sometimes, depending on what you're doing, you might get busy, or maybe you just don't.
What does it really mean?
Sometimes your mental energy is just not there. So you don't feel like replying to people, or maybe you're just not wanting to reply to a person. Maybe she's even just ignoring the guy and she doesn't want to sound mean or
Would you say that
lead
he's
him
just
on.
not?
So in a way, it's
Would you say that he's just not
So in a way, it
not that
can be
important
like,
though?
maybe okay. Let's see. Let's say you're talking to someone and you leave him on red for that long,
Mm-hmm.
and then reply later, say, "Oh, I was busy."
Mm-hmm.
Maybe she's just not interested.
Okay, that's what I was trying to get to. So I know a lot of guys they
Sometimes,
see that and they just still keep on and still trying to egg on and still trying to talk to the girl and just not getting the message. Because some girls don't.
yeah.
Most women aren't upfront and just won't tell you. They're not interested. They just find other ways to try to curve you and just be softer with you. And some guys just don't get it.
Well, it's because sometimes you try to be nice about it and be like, "Hey, like I'm not interested in that," and they get it, but they still keep trying.
Yeah, very true.
You know. So yeah. So
Okay.
I don't know. Sometimes that's the way to go, where you have to put space in between so that they can actually get the point. Otherwise,
it's just not it, right?
they don't get it. Yeah.
Okay. All right. Man, you zipped through my questions pretty fast. I thought it was going to take longer, but you actually did it real fast.
Sometimes straight to the point is better.
Yep. Appreciate you doing the show. I'll have it up maybe within like 3 or 4 days, but I'll send you a copy of it though.
All right.
Okay.
Sounds good.
Appreciate you. Thank you again for your time.
Yeah, no problem. Thanks for reaching out.
All right.
Bye.